What's popular, YouTube? Another day, another demo. Okay, and before we begin, I just wanted to record a little bit of an intro. We are doing the IEM Rio 2022 Major Challenger Stage Pick 'em predictions. Okay, we have done these for the last few majors. It is the most fun content. I love doing these. It brings the whole community together. I make sure to get on Twitter because that's where it's happening. Everybody's talking about who's doing well, who's not, and we're all aiming for that illustrious diamond coin, and it's so fun to do together. And as a disclaimer, I just like to say, if you make these predictions and you make these pick'ems choices, have some accountability. Okay, these are your choices. I encourage you, in fact, to shop around and watch some other videos and see what other people have to say. People have got some crazy takes out there on who they think will go through. And also remember, you don't have to get everything right. Every stage, you've only got to get a certain amount. So there is some strategy involved with the 3-0 pick, the 0-3 pick, and also who you think is most likely guaranteed to go through. And now, without further ado, let's hop in and look at my Challenger Stage pick'em predictions for Rio. And with the one asterisk, the one special detail about this major is that every stage has a crowd. And there are 4 South American teams that are all vying for a spot in Challenger, and that is what's making this incredibly difficult. So let's talk about it. Okay, but before we continue, I want to introduce the official sponsor of Lao's no money back Dimundo Pick'ems, Leadify. It's literally free, so hear me out. Quietly, I use Leadify every single time I prepare demos to macro analyze statistics or look more closely at players on an individual level. Don't conflate free with bad, though. There is no better user-friendly interface to track your own stats and understand what categories of your skills suck. I mean, literally, how bad is your spray? You can look at it.
But wait! There's more!
Free practice servers, 2D replay tool, focus areas feedback, so you can look at your spots that you're bad at and improve. And on your progress report, rank progression, leaderboards, personal best, you name it. Best of all, I've already said it, Leadify is free, so sign up now with your email or Faceit account using my link in the description below. Please, it supports me. Do it. Okay, let's get into it. It is time for the Rio Challenger Stage Pick'ems, the Lao Dimundo Diamond Coin Extravaganza journey starts right here and now. Let's just hop in game and take a look at what we have to work with. We have to get 5 right, okay? You know how this goes. We did this at PGL, Antwerp, Stockholm. Now it's time for the hardest major of all, Rio, where I just casted the Road to Rio RMRs, and we had 0-0 Nation get through, Imperial take down Complexity in a grueling 2-1 win, just to make things even more challenging and interesting and exciting. Maybe it would be harder if Complexity were in this, and I'm about to tell you why. Why don't we go ahead and throw on the most likely to get through teams based on how I feel about it? Okay, so first of all, Vitality should be a gimme. Do we have to say more than that? I hope not, okay? Next up, Cloud9, a team that has faltered under pressure. They did versus Imperial at Antwerp. We already know that's possible. I'm worried about it. Can I say I am worried about it? It's a real thing. Next, okay, the best of the Brazilian teams, the team that is top 10, the team that has the ability, the team that typically fails in playoffs, but up until playoffs, it feels like they can take down nearly everybody. They always have a chance. They're a team I would believe in no matter what major this is that they would get through the Challenger stage. That's right, it's Furia. I will have them on my top 3 in this pick'em. From here on out is where, of course, it gets a little bit more complicated and a little bit more sketchy. I'm going based on some previous results. I tried to do the IEB predict every kind of round to figure out who would go 3-1, 3-0, and etc. Way too difficult. The first round matchups are so hard, I'm really not sure. We saw Vitality play badly and get knocked out by Astralis today of the Blast Fall Showdown. That was weird. And they're playing Imperial in the first round, I believe. I am still going to put Imperial through. I'm spoiling this right now. But first, who's the next likeliest to get through, okay? I will say Fnatic. I really don't believe in them to make it out of Legend stage if they get there. But to get to Legend stage, the field is not that thick. I think there is a good chance that they can do this. They have lost to basically every good team they played recently, but they beat every average or comparable team recently as well. So I'm going to take Fnatic to go through. And then the next team that's in the mid-range that I feel like has a good chance of going through is Outsiders. They actually have some big wins recently. they don't falter under pressure. In some sense, I have more faith in a team like Outsiders than I do anyone else on this list besides maybe Vitality right now. And it's fair to doubt them. It's hard to place them in the grand scheme of great teams at the moment. But I like this team on LAN, and I think I like this new iteration of the lineup as well. And I feel pretty good about putting them here. If this is a 3-0 pick for you, by the way, I don't blame you, and I think you're on the right train of thought. I think this makes sense. So who's left? Well, there's 00 Nation, and there's 9Z of the two South American lineups that could potentially get through. And I actually believe there's a chance here for both of these lineups. On top of Imperial. Is there anybody else that could go up in front of them? I think definitely OG. OG are trending in the right direction. They are looking solid. They have a tier 1 upper. They have some very strong riflers. Flamesy's first major playing, by the way, with autographs. So congratulations to him. And there's a lot of firsts at this major. But I want to say I think OG are another sort of safe bet. I've lost faith in EG after today at the showdown. They did really great at the Road to Rio. If they make it through, congratulations to them. I'm actually going to forgo picking them to qualify. I also do not have that much faith in Mouse. Unfortunately, looking at some recent games, I'm not seeing a lot of convincing results. They also lost to Outsiders recently, which kind of tips my edge towards Outsiders in this way. I'm feeling shaky about it. And then there's Gamer Legion, who also had a really great Road to Rio. This is brand new territory for most of the players on Gamer Legion. For Shuhei as an IGL, I think he's shown that he is one of the most promising up-and-coming IGLs, and Acor had an excellent tournament. I'm not sure if it continues. I honestly didn't watch their games closely myself. I was casting the NARMR, which was happening concurrently, so I don't know how to feel about them. If you like Gamer Legion here, I understand. I might have a slight bias towards some of the NA teams that I watched, and I'm actually kind of torn for this last spot between, of course, the 3 remaining South American rosters. And I think of all of them, I actually believe Imperial have the best chance. This is the most popular team at this major. This is the most unbelievable crowd in the world, by the way. I've casted in front of 12,000 people in Antwerp, 12,000 people cheering for Astralis in Copenhagen, 6,000 people in Lisbon, which is actually the second loudest crowd, unbelievable crowd, 6,000, but 8,000 people in Sao Paulo when I casted Blast Sao Paulo in 2018, 2019, the loudest crowd, the most insane crowd by far. I mean, literally, I think MIBR almost got 16-0'd on LAN, and they did not stop making noise for the entire time. You can't say that about any other crowd in any other place in the world. And I think I was talking to Maniac about this, for Legends, like there are on Imperial, you cannot underrate how much that could matter. And that also applies to teams like 00 Nation and 9Z as well, who I think are going to feed off this energy in a big way. And I feel weird for leaving 2 out of 3 of them off of this. Honestly, I think this makes sense in terms of picking the most safe possible, leaving a space for one of the Brazilian lineups. And then I actually think there's not an unbelievable possibility that 9Z gets some good matchups and could potentially 3-0, that a 00 Nation could be in the same boat. But in terms of potential 3-0 teams, you could have anyone from BNE to Gamer Legion, and you wouldn't be completely out of your mind. I don't know if there's any amendments I need to make here. I'm dogging the boys. I'm putting Greyhound at 0-3. Once again, they seem to deliver on this consistently at majors. It's great that they qualify. They struggle when they get there. This is stressful for the Earth, right? There's headaches, there's hypertension, and then there's challenger Pick Ems at the road to Rio, at the Rio major. And this is the peak. I don't know what happens here. We look at the snubs. Big don't have Favin. I'm not even thinking about them. BNE not in the same shape as they were last time around, and the field has grown beneath them. When we look at IHD, I'm sure they're going to play well. It's possible they don't go 0-3. There's too many other contenders to say that they'll make it out. And then 0-0 have Taco and Cold, who, if Imperial are going to be the favorite team at this major simply because Fall and Fur, of course, Taco and Cold are going to be second. They're probably going to be equivalent unless they're playing each other. Then we'll really find out. And I want to believe 0-0 can make it through. I just don't know who to replace safely for the sake of just trying to get the 5 correct Pick 'em teams here. And I think genuinely, I have faith in Imperial, and I think if this was a major in another place, I wouldn't think so. But it's going to be incredibly loud in their favor. It's going to be if positive energy means anything for these guys, and you know that it does, this is a real thing. If you're new to CS, I completely understand if you're not following, but if you're not new, you know. And if you saw what happened with Imperial at the last major, there were absolutely no tells and no signs that they could take down a team like Cloud9, and they beat them. And honestly, it was one of the most surreal moments of my life to be sitting in the green room watching Imperial beat Cloud9 to qualify at PGL Stockholm. It was insane. So that's stuck in my memory. This major only amplifies that. I'm putting them in. And I wish I could put 0-0 in, but for now, I think these are the ones we're going to lock in. And without further ado, it's done. That's it. I'm locking in these Pick Ems, the 7 teams that will advance. I have had half a two-board classic, I would like to say, but I'm feeling lucid. Okay? I'm feeling lucid. I trust myself. I'm sorry, Albania. I'm sorry, Torji. I'm sorry, Germany. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Let me know if you've got something different. If you don't think that this is right, tell me why. And then tell me what country you're from. Okay? If there were 7 Canadian teams, my Pick'ems would look different. I'll tell you that much. So I understand why your pride might play a factor. And I think having 2 Brazilian teams making it to Legends is going to create for the most unbelievable atmosphere on the Legends stage. Any of them make it through, I'm ecstatic. I want this for these guys. We're so blessed to be able to. And remember, the Challenger stage has an audience. Okay, remember that. That's the difference. The Challenger stage, they're going to have a stadium for every stage of the major with thousands and thousands of people. I think it's still 10,000 people every single day for all of these Challenger games and the Legends games. And then finally, Championship stage, even bigger stadium. It's going to be mad. It's going to be mad, and I think that there could be some. I think there could be some argument for 2, maybe 3, honestly, maybe even 4 to get through. And I'm here for it. I want it. That's genuinely, I want it. I just want it. I want what the crowd wants, and that's definitely what they want. This will be special. This is the real last dance, and these are my final lock-in Challenger Pick'em predictions. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned. We'll keep doing the stages as we go through, and we're aiming for Diamond, okay? Hooksy's World. Peace out.